Well, hello, 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 hello. Emma Ansah here, and I'm back. I must apologize for being MIA last week. I had a nasty neck injury that radiated pain to my head, and I was having just brutal migraines, a trip to the ER, back home. I'm much better now. I would say about 75% better now, and just so happy to finally be back live with y'all. So thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Emma Ansah here in Canada, and although it's fall, we're getting snow, and I'm not happy about it. It is super cold. It's literally like today, it's 20 degrees. And again, this is supposed to be fall. It's not even the official day of winter, and it is freezing cold, and the snow isn't stopping. So I'm not the happiest about that, okay? But I'm just going to keep wearing bright colors in defiance of the winter, okay? So anyway, thanks so much for joining. Hey, Robert. Hey, Robert, I already see that you're commenting on the topic that we're going to be discussing today. And Robert says, I like my apologies. Damn your verbal. And so he likes money, he's saying. And then an empty apology is exactly what it is, like an empty wallet and or purse. Forgive me, my dog is over here barking. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. My apologies, family. You gotta love live. Anyhow, so I hope everybody's doing good. Hey, Mariana, thank you so much for joining. Hey, Conversations with Celanese, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And we're going to get into this topic. We're going to get into this topic on the heels of today being Remembrance Day. This is, first of all, I would like to say thank you to all of the soldiers for your service. Appreciate it. However, we're talking about our Black soldiers, okay? We're talking about them, and we're talking about Canada Armed Forces and the fact that they are issuing an apology for decades of anti-Black racism that the soldiers endured. And we're just going to play the apology, and we're going to hear from one of the former veterans, and then we'll talk about it further. So let's just play this.
Has been out of the military longer than he was in it. But the trauma after years of painful encounters ranging from racial slurs to being passed over for promotions still affect him and his family.
Until we have people willing to move en masse to dismantle and decolonialize this nonsense, it's going to be a chapter and verse in my granddaughter's life, who's only 6.
But decades after Coward's retirement, military members continue to face racism and sexism on the job. Today, the Canadian Armed Forces gathered survivors for a long-awaited apology for the treatment racialized members have faced.
I apologize to every CAF member, veteran who experienced racism, discrimination, and harassment. And I acknowledge we failed you.
An acknowledgement the Chief of Defense Staff says marks both a milestone and a difficult day for the military.
We failed to live up to the values we project and promote around the world every day.
But feelings among veterans today are mixed.
The apology, in my humble opinion, is hollow.
May this apology mark not an end, but a beginning.
So before I go further to talk about the second apology, let's just talk about this first one, okay? First of all, no thank you. I don't want to hear. I apologize. We failed you. Excuse me, but these soldiers went through decades, and it's not without them reporting multiple times of what they were going through. And these are Black soldiers who elected to fight for Canada, and they had to fight soldiers and high-ranking officers and everybody else that was inflicting racism on them for decades. And they are now deciding, by the way, this took place on October 30th, to issue an apology. and talk about how they failed us. Excuse me, but I'm more interested in some money. Can you please cut us a check for all of the soldiers, past and present, that have gone through this? That's what I want to see. I want to see real accountability, not apologies. I'm so over the apologies. I'm over the apologies. We're over the apologies. I don't want to hear any more apologies. Quote says, an empty apology is exactly what it is, like an empty wallet and or purse, giving someone a bare plate and calling it a dinner. Exactly. Hi, Conversations with Celanese. Thanks so much for joining. Hi, GQ. Hi, Mariana. Hi, Lavelle. At B1, that's right. Hey, BV, thanks for joining. Jedi says, yup, facts, study, rap the news, YouTube, don't study, gullible, terrorists, illegal, immigrants, mixed, Gentile, Confederate, Satan. Oh my gosh, Trojan to destroy FBA, Americans, all Black people. Yes, Robert has given a bunch of clapping emojis. Israel says they must know something is coming to Canada, that they need those Black soldiers. I'm going to get to that as well, because I feel like this is very strategic. Toriano says those damn oil boys knew what they were doing. Exactly. Should she get an Oscar award? Absolutely. The Oscar goes to, this is a high-ranking officer. Her name is Janine. Anyhow, yeah, back to that, my strategy, or what I think it is. I firmly think it's because the enrollment, although it's high, the amount of soldiers that actually make it in is super low. They're way lower than they needed to be. And not too long ago, they put a whole report out, encouraging soldiers to come and enroll. And they were talking about they're going to make it more diverse, and they want to bring more diversity. I don't want to hear it. Let us keep going. So now let's talk about the number 2 Construction Battalion. This group of men who offered their services, and they were denied the opportunity to fight alongside the folks, because the folks said this is a white man's war. So they refused to let them fight. Instead, what they did was they put them to do construction work, forestry, building railway tracks, while getting poison attacks and all kinds of just harrowing, laborious, long days of building and all that other nonsense. That's, hence the name Construction Battalion. And so they endured the imaginable. But, I'm just going to play a little bit so you can see a little bit about the number 2 Construction Battalion as well.
Do you know about the number 2 Construction Battalion? The number 2 Construction Battalion was the only all-Black military battalion in Canadian history, but they had to fight for the ability to join the front lines of World War I. The battalion built bridges, roadways, and settlements while enduring artillery gunfire and poison gas attacks. But they only got to the Battle of the Western Front after 2 years of fighting their own government to participate. Battalion member George A. Borden even wrote his own In Flanders Fields poem called The Black Soldier's Lament. The poem goes as follows. The peace restored, the battle won. Black sweat and toil had beat the Hun. Black blood was spilled, black bodies maimed. For medals brave, no black was named. Yet proud were we, our pride unshamed.
And that's just a fraction. So back to the apologies. They went through it, okay? They went through it. And then in 2022, the then Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, issued an apology. So here's his apology.
To offer the Government of Canada's official apology for the appalling way these patriots were treated. For the overt racism of turning Black volunteers away when they offered to sacrifice their lives for all, we are sorry. for not letting black service members fight alongside their white compatriots, for denying members of No. 2 Construction Battalion the care and support they deserved. We are sorry. For failing to honor and commemorate the contributions of the members of No. 2 Construction Battalion and their descendants, for the blatant anti-black hate and systemic racism that denied these men dignity in life and in death. We are sorry.
Another apology. We want reparations. We want reparations. We don't want to hear, we are sorry. That's just not good enough. It's not good enough. Just like Shay says, reparations for all the benefits they were refused and forced out of promotions. Exactly. Sorry, sorry, sorry all day long, yet not sorry for withholding cash. Exactly. Thank you, Light. Algorithm says, when are we going to learn when you protect them, you leave your loved ones, aka family, unprotected? Yeah, you know, a lot of people will ask, why did they even bother? Why were they trying so hard to fight for a country that wanted them literally off the reservation? And you know what? They felt a sense of loyalty to Canada. They felt proud, and they wanted to also show that, listen, we can unify, we can be allies, we can fight alongside each other. How does any black soldier even feel safe in the military after all of this that's gone on, even knowing the history before enlisting and thinking that you're going to change the narrative? Now, granted, they're saying that they're going to whatever. They're talking about all of these things they're going to implement. And, you know, it's the same old stuff, making sure there's a diversity staff. And there was some class action settlement that took place, and they offered 150 million, but it was only for soldiers that were in service from 1985 onward, like up to today. And are you ready? Are you ready? Here's how much they would have been paid out. In the words of Donald Trump, are you ready for this? Are you ready? $5,000. That's the lowest. And then the highest is $35,000. Now, if you think about all of the soldiers from 1985 to now, doing the math, what is that? Nonsense. We want reparations. We want real reparations. Hi, Teresa Thompson. Thanks for joining. Light says this is true. Exactly. We want real reparations. I'm so sick and tired of these hollow apologies. Like that soldier said in the video, he said it's hollow. And he said, unless there's something en masse that's really going on, we're not going to see any change. We're not. But the only people that have to change the way they're doing things is us. We need to start saying, no, we're not giving our lives for any country that's not willing to give their lives for us or fight for us. You're fighting to keep us out. We're fighting to be in. No, we need to stop doing that, because then what do we get? An apology? Okay. How does that help all of the families of all of the No. 2 Construction Battalion, the soldiers from the No. 2 Construction Battalion, or all of the other soldiers who are enduring what they're enduring? How does that help the families? No, we need reparations. We need reparations. Thank you. Algorithm 2 says makes sense. And also stop sacrificing yourself and these presidents, governors, and all the other ASS a-holes. Grown children are at home safe while you sacrifice for countries that are unaliving your family at home. Make that make sense. Exactly. It doesn't. But like I said, a lot of these soldiers felt very compelled, and they felt like it was a sense of loyalty. They wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to be a part of fighting for the country, but it's just not for us. Let them keep their talking point of this is a white man's war. Let them go and do the fighting. Leave us out of it. We need to rest. Okay? We need to be resting and fight for our community and fight for unity and fight for all of the things that we are entitled to as Black people for the decades and generations of what we have gone through. That's where our fight needs to be. That is what we need to be focusing on. Miller Sydney, hi Miller Sydney says, know your enemies. Lydia Hazel says, my people don't fall for this apologies. We have survived all this while, right? Gods of the day, how you doing? I think they fought because it was their land before the Neanderthals. I mean, yes, the indigenous people's land, I can see. But Black people, excuse me, if they're telling you you can't fight alongside us, I'm not fighting. I'm not going to go put myself in harm's way. I'm just going to go about my business then. I wouldn't even bother. But again, they felt a sense of loyalty. They wanted to fight for their country. It meant something to them. So I'm not going to, judge them for their decision. I'm just saying today, with the shortage of the amount of people enrolling, Black people, pull a chair up, come close. Do not do that. Do not enlist. Don't do it. Algorithm says, yes, exactly. Hear me loud. And for the people in the back, do not do it. Tavina, sorry. Hi, Tavina. We are the indigenous American Indian. Exactly. And thank you for the clapping emojis. Don't do it. Do not do it. They do not. I repeat, do not have any goodwill for our lives. Our lives are not important because it should have never taken all these decades. When we go back, okay, the number 2 construction battalion, they were let's see, when were they? They were fighting in 1912. So let's just go back there to today. The amount of anti-Black racism that took place, and you are only now in 2025 on October 30th issuing an apology and talking about how you failed. What happened to all those generations and decades? Okay. Marie Antoinette. Hi, Marie Antoinette. She says, excellent advice. Hey, Tamane, how are you? Thanks for joining. Exactly. Don't do it. Do not do it. When I saw this apology and I saw those tears and everything else, I mean, let me tell you, the amount of eye rolling and everything else that was going on in my head, and there were so many emotions going on. Because this is the other thing that I've noticed. Every year, we call it Remembrance Day here. In the United States, it's called Veterans Day. But every year, there's, the Flanders Field, what is it, poem or whatever, and the song, and then at 11 o'clock, there's a few minutes of silence, and there's a bunch of names of soldiers. And guess what I never see? I never see names of any Black soldiers. I'm going to even take it a step further. In Niagara, there are cemeteries, including one that's actually called the Colored Cemetery. So to all my Ontario people, in Fort Erie, Ontario, which is just at the border, it's called Border Town, just before you cross over to Buffalo, New York, there's a cemetery called the Colored Cemetery. You can't find one plot of a Black soldier. I physically went there when I found out that there was a cemetery called the Colored Cemetery. Not one plot with a Black soldier's name you can find, but you can find a lot of plots with soldiers with the folks' name, okay? And the same goes for a cemetery in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Not only can you not find any names of the soldiers that were Black that fought, the plots have been buried and replaced with little Canadian flags, and they left up the plots of the folks. So I'm saying on Remembrance Day, aka Veteran Day, I'm only acknowledging the Black soldiers that nobody talks about. And that for me is what's important. So again, how you can, Canadian Armed Forces, CAF, how you can really make a change and make a difference is by paying reparations. That's the first thing. Acknowledging all the Black soldiers that fought for this country. That's the second thing. And uncovering every single plot that was covered of the Black soldiers and have them visible. And I don't even care, because it's been so many years that it probably has to be repurposed or I don't care. You do that and make sure that those soldiers who not only fought for the country, but also have to fight the folks, you make sure that they are acknowledged. And I'm getting so emotional by this. It is beyond frustrating. It's beyond, like, there are no words to describe how I feel right now. I'm just befuddled. Dell, hi Dell. Oh dear. Malcolm once said, as long as you are south of the Canadian border, you are in the South. Facts. Thank you for that. Daryl, hi Daryl. Daryl says, I think we need to stop talking about reparations in the public. We all know what really needs to be done to get reparations, but only a fraction of us have the courage to carry out such a plan. Well, I do think that I want to keep talking about it publicly, especially when they try to publicly just feel like they can just issue an apology. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be like, no, we don't accept just an apology. I heard some people applauding when the former prime minister was issuing an apology, and that's great if it makes you feel good. It doesn't make me feel good. In fact, I feel insulted by it. Rolando says, the process hoodie mob. Yeah, thought process hoodie mob. Tavina says, I live in Buffalo, New York, 716. Hey, well, you're not far from the Colored Cemetery in Fort Erie. Just look it up, Colored Cemetery, and you'll see the address. And you will not find one Black soldier's plot there. Bridget, hi Bridget. I'd rather have Jesus instead of having a man who never loved me and is going to kill me. I never wanted a man who is going to hate me for the rest of my life. I wouldn't want that kind of hell for me. Well, okay, yeah. We want our land back. Exactly. It's not their country. Trump says Canada would be the 51st state. Yeah, I know. He keeps saying that. He keeps taunting us with that. Canada's a sovereign state, so I don't think that will ever happen. But, you know, he likes to troll us, so he can keep trolling. But I say no, Trump, no. Sheila says, some apologies are too late, period. Exactly. And, you know, it's just not enough for me. It truly is not enough for me. I think that all Black people in general should not enlist. Like I said, don't even look at trying to fight for this country, but what they should do is fight for reparations. Less talk, more action. Exactly. And you know what else I came across too that really resonated with me? Remember when Muhammad Ali was asked to enlist and he refused, and he stood there while they called his name repeatedly and he refused and ended up behind bars for refusing? I found that video, and then I also found his rationale, and I feel like that is what we as Black people need to adopt. And I always thought Muhammad Ali, such an intelligent man, absolutely loved him. So I'm just going to play that.
Hey, Army. Cassius Clay, Army. Will you please step forward and be inducted into the Armed Forces of the United States?
You'll have another chance in a few minutes to reconsider and be inducted. You'll go back in that room, they'll call your name, and they'll tell you once again to take that step.
I'm against the war in Vietnam. I don't think Black people, I don't think they should go to Vietnam and fight Asian, yellow people who've never lynched us, raped us, called us niggas, deprived us of freedom, justice, equality, for the same white man who's not freeing us right here in America. Really, my conscience won't allow me to go. Although I won't have to go, you offer me deals where probably I don't have to fight, or I could have it easier, or do like Joe Louis did. But still, I know that you're using me to lead other people to the service wishes to lead them to slaughter, and my conscience will still bother me. Sir, I'd just rather go to jail.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
That part. That is what it is. That is what it is. We have to know who our oppressor is, okay? And that is the problem. That. So Titan says Muhammad Ali stood on business. Exactly. He sure did. He stood on business. He said, you know what? I'd rather stay here and fight you before I'm going to go fight other people who aren't the ones that are lynching, stealing, essaying us, all of the things. And so Trap says, Black people don't fight no war. Agree. Yup. Miller Sydney says, yup. Teresa says, thank you, Miss Ansah. This is about simple fairness and decency. Exactly. Go watch American Gods and Nancy's speech. I will go and watch that. And then facts. This is it. That's it. It's really that simple. We have no business in fighting any war with people who, first of all, tell us they don't want us to fight, tell us it's white man's war. Fine. You go ahead and fight. I'm going to go chill and mind my business and work and take care of my family and enjoy my life. That's what I'm going to do, and fight for my community, fight for my people, and fight you guys for respect and everything else for my people and my community. That's what we need to do. And as far as those apologies, I'm not applauding any apology from the Canadian Armed Forces or any of them. None. I'm not interested in any apologies. Kevin says, yes, this time you are on your own. Exactly. We're not interested in your shortage of soldiers. Nope. Black people, stay out of it. Stand down. Don't do it. D Lovely says facts. Yeah, I agree. The low game, being in an army is the dumbest thing for a Black immigrant. And back in those days, they really wanted to prove that they're loyal to the country and they want to be, allies and a part of it and all the other stuff. And all that happened was they got relegated to doing construction, forestry, building train tracks and all this other nonsense. I get the racism, but what about having a foothold and an equal footing by being a soldier? Well, that would be great, Rio, if we could really be equal. Do you feel like we can actually be an equal soldier with the folks? They have acknowledged, and I'm talking about the Canadian Armed Forces, have acknowledged decades and decades of anti-Black racism. They acknowledge that they failed Black people. So, and it's still going on. So how can we actually be equal? That, that's my question. So you're saying not Black immigrants, Black born in Canada. Well, there are Black people born in Canada. They're in the military and they're going through it as well. So I don't personally believe that there will ever be a time where Black soldiers will be considered equal. I don't think it. I don't care what they implement. And they're talking about all of these measures. One of the key measures they said was a public apology. And then they're also talking about the class action settlement I mentioned earlier with $150 million. But the payout is between $5,000 and $35,000, depending on whatever their factors are. One of the other things they said they're going to do is they've established a director anti-racism implementation unit, and that's supposed to identify systemic barriers and increase representation of Black, Indigenous, and racialized members. Yeah, they'd already put a call out to increase that, and it's still not working. Okay, because I think Black people are waking up and saying, yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to bother. They also said they're going to have training resources and awareness. Um, so I guess, again, trying to train racism out of a racist. I've never subscribed to that either. Diversity, equity, inclusion. No, I'm not falling for that either. Not happening. Angelina says, I think we should rebuild the wilderness sovereignty without bias. It's okay. It's our home sovereignty, and you're our guests. We can do adult things to have a good life, utilities and all. Well, that would be great. It would be great in a perfect world, but what is the world we're actually living in? We are indigenous people of North America, and we are the Indians. Yeah, but look at how we're being treated. Look at how we're being treated. One of the other measures they're talking about doing is recognition, commemoration, and representation. So they're saying that they're committing to funding to commemorate the legacy of the number 2 Construction Battalion. Okay, that's great. So they're listing all of these things, right, that they're going to be doing. Equity and recruitment, advancing and monitoring. So they're going to have something to look like Canada in culture, gender, and ethnicity to improve recruitment and promotion of Black people and other racialized groups. And then they're talking about supporting the collection of data. So basically race-based data, okay? And performance management framework specific to anti-racism. All of these word salads, just blah, 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 blah. But at no time are they saying, you know what? We owe you reparations. That's the only thing I want to hear. I don't need all these measures. I just need reparations. One word, reparations. And let's talk money now. Let's talk how much. That's what I want to hear. You'll never be equal footing in their system. They're too far gone to burn around their character. That's who they are. Exactly. Fighting with a people against another people while the people fighting hate your guts. It's not godly at all. Not godly. It's not godly. And it's not safe. It's not safe. Could you imagine? Just imagine being a Black person fighting alongside what's supposed to be your ally, your comrade, your homie, whatever. And in the back of your mind, they don't want you there. They hate you. I wouldn't even want to have my back to them. It would be like, oh, oops, it wasn't me. I'm not the one who pew-pewed him. I can't even, there's no way. I can't even wrap my mind around the idea. I just can't. New York Fragrances says reparations for sure. And Kevin says, for generations, we fought and died to free ourselves and others, made it possible for them to come to our Canada and freedom, only to get the hatred once they came through the door or we visit them. Exactly. And, it's systemic. So how does that change? I always say it. The only people that have to change things is us. It's us. We are the ones that need to understand the level of power and brilliance and intelligence and, just innovativeness. Everything that we possess that they don't. And if we were to take all that and just keep it in our community, our people, could you imagine the force that we would be? That's where we need to get to. That's the fight we need to focus on. Because I frankly, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm here in Canada in my lifetime. I cannot even imagine seeing any reparations coming this way. I would love to be optimistic and have a Pollyanna approach, but I don't think I will ever see a day where reparations will be paid for the over 200 years of slavery in this country and, decades upon decades of anti-Black racism in the military. I cannot see it happening. Can't. Sheila says, history repeating itself and we need to learn from it. Yeah, not to repeat it. Exactly. So, that's my 2 cents as it relates to this apology. It really triggered me and really infuriated me. And yes, and you're right, Stacy. 400 plus years, exactly. New York Fragrances says, "I want my 40 acres." Man, more than that. More than that. We want more. And do you know, I did a little promo about this live stream that I was going to do. And do you know the folks are burning mad? They are burning mad at me. They're saying, "Oh, imagine if the Chinese people were upset about having to go and do construction." Excuse me, Karen, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Black people. Stop gaslighting. That's what they love to do. When we put out something and put them on blast, they turn around and gaslight and start talking about, "Oh, you're liars, and why don't you just get over it? Slavery doesn't exist anymore." And then talking about another race of people. Stop deflecting, stop gaslighting. I'm not even trying to hear from anybody that's going to look at this and look at this history and have the caucasity to say anything to me about like that. I'm not hearing it. But yeah, I got a bunch of messages from the folks. They're mad, and you can be mad all you want. What it is that the truth, the ugly truth, hurts. That's the bottom line. And you can't take it. But that's on you. I'm going back to what I'm saying. We don't want any more apologies. We want reparations. Canada can keep the partner in the Ukraine. That is why they absolutely gave the Ukraine larger houses and more light vehicles. They needed us only as a surety. And Light says, "Yep, gaslighting." And New York says, "No other group went through what the Blacks went through." Exactly. So stop talking about any other race of people. God bless them. God bless their heart and their family. We're talking about Black. This is Black people's business. And if you can't handle it, just stay out of the group chat altogether. Rio says, "Talking doesn't do anything." Exactly. Or calling Black people victims. Yeah, they do that too. Stop being a victim and stop with the race card. No. It is what it is. I always say, if you want to debate with me about my opinion, that's one thing. But these are facts. These are facts. You can go on the Canadian Armed Forces website, go wherever you want to go on YouTube, go wherever. These are facts. So I'm not even engaging in that. Not even engaging in it. Rio says, "Scared to read my comments." Yeah, family. So that's my rant for today. I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me. I enjoy speaking with you live. I enjoy engaging with you. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and join the conversation. And I encourage you to also listen to everybody else that's on here. Everybody is killing it, crushing it, bringing the news, and a lot of news that you don't hear otherwise. A lot of it that you don't see on mainstream media. We're all bringing it to you. So I encourage you to watch everybody else. Watch everybody else. See what everybody else is reporting on. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app from your Google or Apple store. I'm talking about unity. I'm talking about building together. I'm talking about generational wealth. I'm talking about legacy. And this app is by us and for us. So nobody can tell us what to do, what to say, what to think, what to breathe, nothing. It is our app. So, head over to your Google or Apple store, download that app. And there's exclusive content there too that you're not even seeing here on YouTube. So, download the app. It's good stuff. It's good and very good stuff. So make sure you download that app. B says it's always been about racism. Yep. And Toriano says the race card, when they're the ones who set up the system of race. Exactly. And they love to say things like, "Why does everything always have to be about race?" Is it us that makes it about race, or is it you? So, yeah, I agree with you there. Checking in from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Oh, hey, from Halifax, Nova Scotia. So much Black history there. Africville in particular. There's so much Black history there. So, hey, from Nova Scotia. I hope you're not getting this snow that we're getting out here in Ontario. You missed my intro. Oh, hopefully you'll be able to rewind back, but it's basically about the Canada Armed Forces issuing an apology for anti-Black racism that expands over decades. And I'm just saying, we want more. We want reparations. Thank you. Good deal, Emma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Real Life says the world is the deep anti-Black racism. Exactly. Here, here. Yes, just rain. That's right. How does it go again? Just rain that money, rain that reparations. Make it rain. The other folks got their reparations from us. We had nothing to do with their oppression. They even know where they come from. Yes, yes, and yes. But I'm going to love you and leave you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is very cold. I've got a very antsy dog that wants to go outside in this snow, and I am not looking forward to it. So I'm going to leave you all, but I will be back tomorrow, same time, same channel. So until next time, please be safe, everyone, and I shall see you again.